everyone, welcome to the Captain Drone YouTube channel. My name is Steve, and over here we have Jedi Steve, and down here we have the Flightline Spitfire Mark 9, 1600 millimeters, which is about
63 inches.
63 inches.
Yes.
I know, we were doing the math earlier. Now, I just want to say one thing before I start. This plane is massive. I mean massive. Take a look. Look at how it fits in the bed of my Jeep. It takes up the whole bed of my Jeep. It's huge. Now I'm going to jump back in history a little bit, and I'm going to lift up this Spitfire. This is by the same company, Flightline, and this is the 1200 millimeter Spitfire. It's much smaller, obviously, and this is the most popular Spitfire money can buy. However, it was around for a long time, and people wanted something larger, so they made the 1600. So now you're wondering, what do I like better, the massive one or this one? Well, this one fits in the back of my Jeep. I'll show you this one in the bed of my Jeep. Also, what I really like on this one is it has the invasion stripes on the bottom,
nice,
which looks really good. This one, for some reason, no invasion stripes, but it is supposed to be period authentic. But they have similar, I would say, Steve, don't they look very similar in color schemes? Even the pilot looks different. That cockpit is massively detailed. A few things to note about this plane. You do have LED lights on the wingtips, and you do have one on the very top. For surface areas, you have ailerons, you have elevators, you have rudder, and you have split flaps, and that gets you going quite well. You also have a super powerful motor in the front.
I think it's an 80 amp ESC.
80 amp ESC? Yep. Well, it would make sense because we run it, well, we're going to run it today on a 4006S LiPo battery. You could put bigger LiPo batteries if you want.
Is huge. Yep.
It's huge. Like here, I'm showing you a picture right now. It's quite large. The battery looks small in there. So on a 4000, we're getting way over 5 minutes. But if you put like a 5000 or 6000, you're getting a long flight time with this baby. And apparently, at full speed, it can get up to like 75 miles per hour, which is like,
which is good.
Well, 125 kilometers per hour.
That's fast, yes.
Yeah, for a warbird, it's very fast. Yep. Anyways, we're going to see it fly here today, and this is going to be a typical Captain Drone plane review. In other words, the plane is going to fly. We're going to do 2 flights. One flight, I'm going to film it from the ground, and the second flight, I'm going to film it from the air with a DJI FPV drone, and we'll put some cameras on the plane. I'm going to take both of those flights. We'll squish them together into one big flight, so that's what you see, and it's very entertaining. Here we go.
This is the chase video.
All right, Steve, are you set to go?
I think I'm all set, half flaps, and ready to go.
Nice takeoff.
Gear up. Flaps level.
Flies like a big bird. Hardly any trim needed, so good, which is very nice.
She is fast.
How's that?
She is fast.
You want fast? Let's give you fast.
Okay, give me fast, Steve. Give me fast. I'm going to try to capture this on my video. Oh, I'll zoom way out. Oh, there we go. Steve's going to put the landing gear down, and it's a weird landing gear. One wheel comes down one at a time.
Okay.
So as soon as you turn around, flick it on. So now,
right.
landing gear.
Gear down.
Let's see if we can see it. One wheel should come down. There's one coming down. I don't see the other. And there's the second. That looks pretty cool. All right.
Yeah, I think it's more scale. That's the way the big ones used to do it. All right.
Okay, set up for your landing.
30 seconds.
I think it should just glide in with this wind.
Bit of a tailwind, but we'll make it work.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Oh!
Huh? It does say it does
Hit
grass
the grass.
landings. I'd say that's a grass flip over landing. One thing to note is our grass is soaking wet in the mornings here. It's always wet from dew, so planes cannot land or take off in our wet grass.
There you go. You got a good demo of the gears.
And I'll just go over here and land.
There we go. Look at that.
Okay, so after that flight, we're going to go check the voltage. That was flight number 1. Let's check the voltage. We have Jedi Steve here with the battery in hand. So what's the verdict? What does it say after flight 1?
Very good. Like after 5 minutes, we still got 390 roughly as an average. So
that's
lots of time left.
So you think we could have did? You flew for 5 minutes. You probably could have flew for what?
My
Another
guess is
3?
I would set up for 8 minutes even on the timer.
8 minutes. That's
Yep.
amazing, and that's
Yep.
on a 4,000.
Yep.
Imagine if you put a 5,000
And there's
or
more
6,000
room.
in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You could put it up to 6,000. I'd
Wow.
say.
Is it first day of school for you kids?
Yeah. First day.
You're pretty excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, that's good.
It's only 2 times I was excited at school, the first day and the last day.
Yeah.
As a bonus, Jedi Steve is going to fly the little 1200, this one here with the invasion stripes. This is the very tiny one, very popular, and we'll see how it flies. You ready, Steve?
I'm ready.
Motor armed. Gear up.
Down now.
Gear down.
There we go.
Let me show you what this bumpy runway does to my prop on here. Check this out. I don't know if you can see it. I'll get my shadow out of the way. But yeah, all of that yellow paint that comes off, that's from hitting the gravel. A lot of times when it lands, the nose, it just rides a little too low on landings. All right, so you're back to us. That was 2 flights, and I squished the 2 flights together into 1. The thing I was most amazed at was the amount of battery power that was remaining after the flights. It never really changed from flight 1 to flight 2, so you can fly this thing for an awfully long time on a 4,000 milliamp hour LiPo battery. From the ground, the footage I took, it looked like I was flying very smooth. When I was up in the air with the FPV drone, again, super smooth. This thing does not fly erratic at all. It's such a smooth flyer, but I was not piloting it. Jedi Steve was. Over to you, Jedi Steve. Your final thoughts on this big monster.
Yes, first of all, I love the details on this. I like the little touches, like the mirror stuff. I love that stuff. So, and you can only get that when you get to that size, like 15, 1600. So they are big, but yeah, they do add extra details, which I appreciate. As far as the flying goes, like all these big scale planes, it's really, really super smooth. All the movements are a little slower. It's easier to fly scale. I love flying the bigger ones like that. I don't like to store them, but I like to fly them. But yeah, no surprises. It was really sweet to fly. Landing, I could have done better, but a little bit of practice with it, I'm sure I'd do better. But and it is a Spitfire, so they have a little bit of a tendency to nose over, but that's just the way a Spitfire is.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah, the landing gear is so close together.
It's close together.
It looks
fairly
odd.
Yeah, it's forward quite a bit.
But isn't that pretty cool, authentic, the way one landing wheel comes down and then the second one after?
That's a nice touch.
That's a nice touch. That looks really cool from the ground.
It is scale, yeah. If you see the real ones, that's the way they go up. So yeah, no, it's very nice. So yeah, that's all I can say. It's sweet, sweet flyer, super detailed, love it.
You did a great job, and I should also mention that you mentioned storage of this thing. The wings do come off if you want to store it, and they are easy to slip back on. Now, really quickly, I had Jedi Steve just fly this one to see what he thought. The 1200 millimeter plane, I showed you some footage of it flying.
Another nice flyer, yeah.
After flying this one, and then flying
you
this,
kind of spoiled after flying this.
Yeah, you're spoiled after the big one. Then you fly this. This flies like your typical, in my opinion, like your typical RC plane. Yeah. I do like the invasion stripes on the bottom. I just wish they stuck them on the big one. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the location where you can buy this. Now, I got this from MOTIONRC in the USA, and I got this from MOTIONRC in the USA. So if you live in the USA, I'm going to put the links to MOTIONRC below. Go check it out. If you live outside of the USA, like say in another country like Canada or I don't know, Europe or anything like that, I'll also put the links to RC Castle. I buy from RC Castle every now and then because I live outside of the USA. I live in Canada, and sometimes their shipping and everything else, it's cheaper in the long run than buying from MOTIONRC in the USA. But if you live in the States, MOTIONRC is where you want to go. All right, guys, if you have questions on any of these planes, I threw this one out of the frame.
There we go.
Any of these planes, well, then post your questions below and I will get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a future video with RC helicopters, RC planes, and RC drones.
RC everything.
And Jedi Steve, he'll be here too. All right, catch you in the next video. Bye.